Hi, my name is Lexi Jong and welcome to my channel. Today I have with me this gorgeous Chanel quad. This is number 306, Splendeur et Audace. And this palette is a limited edition palette from 2018. It is not currently available here in the United States. However, if you live in another country, you might be able to find it. My friend Julia from Julia B's Beauty, she was kind enough to send this to me. Now, one of the things that I love about Julia is she is just so incredibly sweet and kind. She was out shopping and saw this. She knows how much I love Chanel and how much I love green eyeshadows, and she thought of me when she saw this. So she just picked it up. I didn't even have to ask her or anything. She just saw this, picked it up, and sent this over to me. And that's just so incredibly kind. Those types of thoughtful gifts are always my favorite. And it's so meaningful. And this color story in general, I really love. So if you have this palette already, I think that is fantastic. But if you don't, I highly recommend this color story and perhaps copying this color story with some single shadows. I really love this. We'll talk about the different combinations and so forth in a little bit. Now, if you are not familiar with Julia's channel, she is at Julia B's Beauty. I do have the link down below in the description box. And on her channel, she does unboxings and makeup reviews and tutorials. She's located in the Czech Republic. And, honestly, her eyeshadow tutorials are some of my favorite. She is very skilled with the eyeshadow application, and I love the color combinations that she chooses. I've learned so much from her. And so if you haven't checked out her channel, please do so. She is also putting up a video with a couple of looks using this quad. So take a look at that. And again, thank you so much, Julia, this is my first collab. So now without further ado, let's go ahead and swatch this. These are the 4 shades. So you can see that this coppery shade here is very metallic, and the green and the blue are going to be a satin shimmer shade, and this black is going to be a matte shade. Here are the swatches, and I'm just moving it so that you can kind of see the light. And these shadows are buildable, and they do work well wet or dry. I've used them both when I've been playing around. And one of the things I really like about these are actually the base shades for these. A lot of times when you get a nice green shade, the base is going to be a black or deep gray base, and a lot of the green kind of blends away sometimes. Same thing even with the blues. And you can see here that that's not the case with these shades. This black shade, I don't typically wear a lot of black eyeshadow. However, I've used this as a liner, and today I actually put it on underneath the green eyeshadow on the outer half, and it just does a really great job of kind of deepening that shade, and it actually brings out different tones in the green eyeshadow. So I think that is a very nice touch. Another thing I actually do like about this black eyeshadow is that is a soft formula. So you're able to get it really sheared out, or you can get it more pigmented, but it's not dusty. So I'm not getting black fallout all over. The quality of these shadows, I think, is excellent. I really like this formula. They are very pigmented. I had no problems with wear time. I had them on all day yesterday, and I didn't have any creasing by the time I took them off. I'm not sure exactly how long I had them on, but it was over 8 hours, so somewhere between 8 and 10 hours, and they held up beautifully. So I do have that eye look to show you, and then also today's eye look. But before we move on, I just wanted to go over some potential combinations here. The 2 looks that I did focused a lot on the greens and blues, but I really think using this copper shade, for me, I'd probably focus it more on the first half of my eye shape and kind of blend that out, and then use either the green or the blue, on the outer half, and kind of tap over it in the middle so you have a gradient. Another look that I really want to play around with is doing the greens and the blues all over the lid. So green and then blue or vice versa. And then the coppery shade right down the middle, kind of tap that on, get a little bit more of a halo effect. This copper shade also looks great buffed into the crease. I think that's really nice. And then let me show you what these shades do when you put them over the black base. All right, so here's the black base. And this is the copper over that. And you can see how different it looks over the black base. And so you could use, just the copper and the black for a gorgeous eye look. But if this is a little bit too bright for you, just kind of subduing it with the black underneath makes a really big difference, I think. And yet you still get a lot of that sparkle. Here's the green. And here is the blue. And you can see just how some of the other, pigments in the green and the blue are enhanced from this. So this almost looks brighter on the black base, and it does have more of that forest green look, but you can definitely see, just a lot of true green pigment in there. And the blue has a little bit of a different tone to it as well. It's also almost brighter in a sense, whereas this looks a little bit more, it's a nice medium blue, but you can see it looks like a little more grayish, whereas here you see a lot more of the blue, in my opinion. Overall, if you don't have this quad, I highly recommend this color story, and I would recommend, playing around and getting some similar shades maybe from an indie company like Sydney Grace or someplace like that, where you can kind of play around with a wide variety of options and they're not that expensive. But I personally really love this color story, and I love how versatile it is. I definitely think pairing the copper with any of these shades works. The black base is surprisingly versatile. I have had, I've used black shadow underneath things before, and a lot of times I've had issues with it looking, more patchy or, extra pigmented in spots. And this one, it really doesn't do that. So if you can find a nice black, a soft black, I think that could be useful. I know Wayne Goss included that in his eyeshadow palette. I didn't pick that up, but if you have that palette, that might be a good option. I've heard good things about his palette. And obviously, the green and the blue together are gorgeous. Today, I pretty much have just green, and you can see just because I added the black base on the outer corner, there are so many nuances. I do have the copper in the inner corner and the blue as liner and a little bit in the crease, but primarily my color here is green, but it does not look the same over the whole lid. And I really appreciate that. Now, if you are interested, stay tuned. I will show you two looks. I have the one from yesterday and then today's look, and then I'll see you back here. On my eyes, I have the Anastasia Beverly Hills Eye Primer. We're taking the Sonia G Worker Pro into the green. Wiping off the brush, going into the blue. Starting at the midway point and feathering over the green. Sonia G Classic Crease, no shadow, just gonna blend these two colors together in the crease area. Going back in with the Worker Pro, just adding a little bit more of the green and the blue on the eyes. Sonia G Mini Booster into this deepest shade. Refer 03 in this coppery shade. Back in with the Classic Crease and just kind of blending this a little bit on the edges. I'm gonna fix this part. Taking the tiniest dab into the copper with the classic crease and just kind of buffing this into the brow bone. I cleaned that up a little bit, and now I'm going back in with the Rephr 03, and then I'm just going to add the green and then the blue. Taking the Clean Pencil Pro from Sonia G, and I'm just going to kind of smudge all of these together. For a liner, I'm going to take a drop of the Inglot Duraline on my hand and make a paste, or a liquid essentially, out of the deepest shade. You can see how deep it is. It's a really nice black. Forgot to mention, this is the Linda Hallberg 300 brush. Just taking the Linda Hallberg 333, no shadow, but just kind of smoothing out this little sort of baby wing thing that I made. I'm going to finish my mascara, and then I'll show you the final look from a distance. And this is the final look from a distance. Thanks. I don't have anything on my lids. We are starting with the Sonia G Soft Shader in the black shade. Sonia G Blender Pro in the blue, blending this into the crease. Sonia G Soft Shader in the green. I'm putting this all over the lid, including over the black. Going back with the soft shader, just kind of blending a little. Sonia G Smudger 2 in the copper shade. I'm using the side of it. Back with the soft shader, no shadow, but I'm just tapping over where those two shades meet. I'm going to do my base makeup, and then I will be back to do under the eye. I'm going to take the blue shade, and I'm going to smudge that underneath my eyes. So I'm using the Sonia G Smudger 2, and you can see I'm just putting it on the tip. I'm going to put a little bit of this here along the upper lash line as well. Wiping that off, going in the copper shade. Taking a tiny touch of the copper and putting it on the brow bone. I'm actually going to blend that out with the blender brush. Blender Pro, no additional shadows. And this is the final eye look. I really like having the black base underneath the green. It really adds some more dimension to it. And it kind of makes the shade a little bit more foresty green. It just gives it a different look. And I personally really like this. I'm going to go ahead and add some mascara, finish my makeup, and then I'll show you a distance shot. Here is a distance shot. I didn't finish all of my makeup, but this is it for the eyes. Thanks. Thank you so much for watching. And just one more thing to sum up, I, again, highly recommend this color story if you are not able to get this quad. And another idea for a black base, if you're looking for a good one, is the Surratt black base. It's the black matter base, and that would work well with these as well. And I have that, and it has a pretty similar formula. It works really well underneath eyeshadows, and it comes actually in the blush size. It's currently half off on Bloomingdale's. I did check, and that is still available. So, you know, I think that ends on August 16th. So if you're interested in that, you know, that's a good idea. But then for these other shadows, you know, this one here is kind of similar to the Surratt Envier. Let's swatch that. So here's Envier, I'll put that here. You can see that they are a different green, but you're still gonna get kind of the similar idea if you wanted to make a quad. And, you know, I think picking up shades that like this from like an independent company like Sydney Grace or Cleonata, you know, or any of those like indie brands, I think you might have an easier time finding singles with these types of shades. In summation, I really love this quad. Thank you again, Julia, for sending this to me. I think the quality on these, it's just incredible. And, you know, the color story is really the major plus here. So again, if you are not able to get this quad, I would recommend trying to copy this color story, and it's just a great option. There are just so many combinations, and for me at least, it's an inspiring quad. I look at it and I don't think I'm going to be doing the same thing with it every time. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this video was helpful, and if you liked it, please give me a thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already, and I hope to see you in my next video. Thanks so much and have a great day.